We sold our house!
Don't get too psyched because you haven't sold it yet. You're in escrow. Do you understand what escrow is?
Hello, everybody. This is Maria with Orange County Escrow Services and another episode of our podcast. Today, we are honored to have Manny Luna with us. Manny is with the Luna Group.
Yes.
The Luna Group. So we have the pleasure. We're going to talk a little bit about what our mortgage rates are right now in this industry. We're going to talk a little bit about, give us a little bit of background about yourself, and then we'll go from there. So, Manny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Manny Luna. I've been in the industry for about 10 years altogether. I got into the industry while I was in the Marine Corps. It was easy at the time because all I thought was, the business comes to you. But it's different once you exit the military. You actually had to go out there and grind. So I took a pause with real estate because I started as a realtor. And I dabbled into Border Patrol. I was in the the hiring process. And then,
Damn, how old were you? 12?
Something like that. I come to find out we were going to be out in New Mexico, and I kind of did a 180 and changed my mind. So decided to go to school, try that out. Was a respiratory therapist. Was getting into that, working at the hospital, utilizing my benefits from the military, and it didn't really catch my attention. I thought, with education, that's what we had to do. And a couple of my buddies were lenders, and they were driving Porsches. And, I didn't know they were lenders, and I haven't seen them in a while. And I was inquired. I don't know if you saw the movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, I did.
Or Donnie's asking, what do you do? I was very curious. Right. And I was thinking the worst, we're coming grew up in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking worst case scenario.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I think when I got into this industry at a young age and my neighbors thought I was drug dealing, I was like, no.
Yeah. So I thought that, they were up to no good, but when they finally told me that they were mortgage lenders, I kind of, the light bulb went off. I remember as a realtor, it really agitated me when my lender wouldn't answer the phone and wouldn't communicate with me. So I decided to get into the mortgage business. I haven't looked back.
Nice. You have two little boys.
Yes.
Two cute little boys. How old are they?
6 and 4.
6 and 4. Wow. So what do you do with them on your days off or?
Well, we just wrapped up our season for football, so I also coach football.
Look at you.
My son, this is his first year in tackle. He wasn't supposed to be. The league was 7, 8, and 9, but he's only 6. But they allowed me to let him play, and you know what? I think it was a great experience for him because now, moving forward, he'll be in that division for 2 more years. So I'm a coach too, and it's very busy after work. I swing over to the practice field, and I wouldn't trade it for the world because coaching the kids and my son, getting them ready for battle is an experience I'll never take back.
So the military, because you were in the Marine Corps, gave you structure.
Yes and no. I think it started from the where I was raised.
Okay.
I didn't grow up in the nicest area.
Okay.
And it was survival of the fittest. You had to make the right choice or the bad choice, and you kind of learned really quick growing up. So I learned that what's wrong was wrong, was right was right. So when I was in the Marine Corps, I already got structure from football, and I also wrestled. So that kind of set the foundation. So I excelled with the physical aspect of it. Mentally, it was a little challenging, having no sleep. I always like to sleep. So that was a part that was hard to adapt. But I feel that sports was the foundation of my success, that catapulted me, from the Marine Corps to what I do now.
Where did you grow up in Santa Ana?
Right there on Cubden and Birch, where Lathrop and Franklin Elementary's at. I went to Franklin.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
That school seems like it's been around since the 1800s.
For still, and I don't think they even had many upgrades on it.
I don't think so.
Same.
Yeah, it's like a stone.
Do you ever go back and maybe check out the auditorium or the library, or no? It's just
I've passed by it, and it seems like they've upgraded the back end of it, but yeah, no, it's still the same.
Still
Franklin,
the same.
yeah.
So I know you mentioned that your dad was also in real estate. What did he do?
He actually still practices,
Oh, he
not
still
not
does.
not as aggressively, but yeah, he's old school. You know, does I mean, I think it was called Mongol facts. Like
Okay.
I knew those terms back in the day. It's a throwback, but yeah. When I got into the business, me and him were just on different spectrums. Like I was more digital, and he was still old school. So I never really learned from him. I learned from a good friend of mine, and his name's Benjamin Rubacava.
Oh, okay.
He's actually in the business now,
Still?
very successful
Okay,
realtor.
really?
Yeah, he kind of got me squared away with, and he was also in the Marine Corps.
Oh,
Was
really?
from Santa Ana.
Oh, wow.
So he was a few years older than me, but I pretty much followed his footsteps,
Okay.
and he didn't steer me wrong.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it like now that you're saying that your dad's in the industry when you guys have, like, let's say Thanksgiving dinner or, or Christmas? Is it something you guys talk about? Because I'm gonna tell you, sometimes when I'm out of here, like, I really don't want to talk about real estate, and sometimes people ask me, even family members, like, "Hey, what's the rate? So is the market going to, crash? Are we in a recession?" And sometimes it's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's like I don't want to do overtime. I'm done. You know what I mean? So do you guys talk about it, or do you guys have like this thing where like, we don't want to talk about it? It's like too much.
Well, me and my dad are more like brothers, to be
Okay.
honest. We have a really close bond, and
Okay.
like it's more like a brother,
Okay.
like a brotherhood, because yeah, we do talk about it, and I mean, we love what we do because
Okay.
we're helping people, and
Right.
that's why I got into it. Because when I was in the Marine Corps, this was between 2007 and 2011. That's when like the recession was in, and I saw a lot of people, including family members
Right.
and friends, like lose their homes because they were in some toxic loan products. So my dad and I've always made it a priority to ensure we take care of the client. So,
Yeah.
we always pass some ideas. Mostly me passing
Okay.
ideas to him. Like I said, he's very old school, but you know what? He's a hard worker too, and we don't stop talking about it. Sometimes our family members have to say, "Okay, guys,
It's enough."
simmer down." But you know what? I enjoy it. I love what
That's
I do,
good.
so I'm very passionate. So
That's
I'm
good
gonna
that
keep
you
talking
bounce
about it.
back each other's, stuff with lending, and maybe he'll ask you for advice or just vice versa. And of course, you being a young, now that we learn from our youngsters nowadays.
Yeah.
And let's go into lending. I know right now, people are like, recession, the rates are up. Like, when is it going to stop? When are the houses going to go down? I don't personally see houses going down. There's a lot of talk with the recessions. I know you follow the Treasury yield, the 10-year bond, and you post a lot of stuff, that's kind of educating us, that follow you, your clients, and everybody else. But how are you looking at the market now? Because I know you are very busy.
Yeah, so this whole like, the market's slow, we're very busy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pumping 10 plus hours still. It just really depends on your perspective. If you think that it's busy and you embed it in your mental state, then it's gonna be busy. Our phones doesn't stop ringing. I have 2 phones right here, and they don't stop ringing. And even then, if I don't pick up, it goes to 4 of my team members. It's very busy.
Yeah.
Real estate's not gonna stop. It's like a haircut. Everyone doesn't matter if you make $1 or you make $100,000 a month. The barbershops are always busy, no matter what.
The hair's still going to grow whether you shaved it wrong or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these people that say, "Oh, I'm slow," it's because you want it to be slow. People tend to lay off the gas pedal during this time anyway.
I agree.
So naturally, it will be slow, but if you're determined and you do good by the client, most of our business comes from referral base. So I'm not going to slow down because I want to. It's, people are trusting me with one of the biggest financial decisions of their life, and I'm not going to close my doors because I want it to slow down. I'm going to keep taking care of them.
And so what are your programs are like right now? I've heard the 2-1 buy down rate, where now we're seeing the sellers giving credit to the buyers, which we weren't even seeing that like 6 months ago, about a year ago. All these sellers were like, no, give me $100,000 more than what my house is really worth, and then we'll talk. And let me review the other 60 whatever offers that are on the table. Now it's changed, which it was expected to change, where now it's like, the buyer is asking the seller for credit to buy down the rate.
Exactly.
So tell me how they can do that. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like how can, like if one of our first time home buyers is listening, or someone out there that says, okay, I want to buy, but obviously all this negativity of people saying, no, the rates are so high, you can't buy, it's so expensive, you're making 3 times the payment that you were before. What can you give them as far as advice or hopes that, look, it's not that case? You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. So, as we all notice, these are just kind of the obvious. We've seen price cuts now. Price cuts are happening. There are seller concessions. I actually had to give out a flyer to my agents, letting them know the threshold, because now there's too much concessions coming back.
Yep.
And the buyer has to give money back. Like, it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, like 4 or 5 months ago, you had to give up like your next unborn child to even get your offer reviewed.
Yep.
But we're seeing, like I said, we're seeing price cuts, we're seeing concessions. We still have down payment assistance. There's a plethora of things that are helping the buyer right now. The buyers are in control.
Right.
And with down payment assistance, you can use the buy down with it as well. And there's different types of buy downs. We have the 3-2-1 buy down. We just locked the rate in yesterday where the FICO score wasn't up to par. The rate started at 6.5, but their initial rate starts at 3.5.
Oh, okay.
And
Not bad.
and we got the appraisal back, and it was $75K above the value of what the offer was. So they're walking in with equity, and they're walking in with a slamming rate. So we all know that what
At a
goes
low
up,
cost.
yeah, what goes up must come down.
Yep.
They're walking in with equity. That 3-2-1 buy down was paid by the seller,
Right.
So it's actually no cost
No
to
cost.
them. So they're going to be able to enjoy 3.5 the first year, 4.5 the second, 5.5 the third, and if even applicable, over the 6.5. But we all know that rates have increased because they're combating inflation.
Right.
So credit card debt is really high, so
Right.
they're trying to tame that. And of course, with real estate, it's different. We don't go off credit card debt, but overall, we have to control the economy from a recession. So we understand why they're doing it, to pump the brakes. But right now, you're getting concessions, you're getting buy downs, you're getting price cuts. You can add the buy down with down payment assistance. So if you don't have a down payment, that's okay. If you want a low rate, we could get that too. What's the excuse? There's literally no excuse.
No excuse.
So, it's a good time. And we have we're averaging 1 to 2 escrows every other day opening.
Yeah.
Now.
And I know you have a team that works with you, so it's not just you that does it.
Yeah.
You have a really good team, because I've worked with your team before, and it's amazing how you guys all work, because it's like you put it there and it's a whole team effort and everybody's on top of it. Because I've had 2-3 of your people like, hey Maria, we need this. Maria, we need this. It's like boom, 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 and we get it done to close right on a timing manner. So that helps out that you do have a good team that knows what they're doing, and they're very well experienced, because that helps you close the deal.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to have a team. If anyone says, oh, I'm a one-man band, they're lying. Because, or either that, or
You're not producing.
or you have no kids,
Yeah.
and you're working till midnight.
Yeah.
We have a system, and we all share the same system. So it's not like we have an Excel sheet or a grease board. No, we have a CRM that everyone's notes are viewable, and we keep everything organized. Half of my team are military vets, and actually one of them I actually served in the Marine Corps, went to boot camp with them. So he's like my enforcer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, he knows that we crack that whip tight.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about the consumer and taking care of it, because there's agents, there's escrow, there's title. There's 5 different parties involved, and we don't have time to mess around or drop the ball. So people might think that I'm really hard, but it's not because I want to be. It's we have to be.
You have to
That's
be.
the standard.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a system where we have people that set up the file. Because if I sat there and looked through every pay stub and make sure everything was there, I wouldn't be sitting here in this making
Exactly.
this video.
You'll be on the back desk, trying to figure out the income.
So,
got it.
My system is we structure it, and then I view it and bless it then, and to ensure it. Now, instead of taking 2 hours to view it, it's taking me 10 minutes because everything's already done. So everything's efficient. It's like an assembly line. And what's good is that everybody knows how to do the job. So if I go missing, I could be kidnapped.
Yep.
And my pipeline will close, and we'll still get business coming in. It could run self-sufficiency. So
Right.
it's self-sufficient, so it's important to have that. And a lot of people don't. And if one guy goes missing, then the whole the system's
Right.
disrupted. So it's important to cross-train your guys.
Right, which is good. One thing that I do admire from you, we went to a Mike Ferry event, and we called you up or something like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we went up to your room. You had like a whole on setup, like your
Yeah.
computer, your 3-4 monitors. It was just like nonstop. I think for me, like that, I look up to that is you're still giving that service no matter where you go still get yourself educated. We went to the Mike Ferry event, and you were still there giving that service to your client, right? Like you said, you have 2 phones. You are all about service. You are all about caring for that buyer that's buying or that person that's refinancing, to make sure that you are giving that service on a timely manner. And I think that's, one of the things that caught my attention. Not everybody carries 3-4 monitors, on a Vegas trip to go see Mike Ferry, but, that was very impressive. And I think that your structure, is what makes you who you are now, and the love that you have for this, because it's like you said, we're both in it to serve, people, and give them that service and make sure that they're closing on a timely manner.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is discipline, though.
Yeah.
Because you could be self-employed and you could be a business owner. They're very two different things. So for me, I don't. I wake up before my family and I go to sleep after my family. But you know what? It's efficient enough where I still get the right amount of hours of sleep. But that's what people lack today is, some people are inconsistent. I'm ready to go by 7 a.m. But my kids are also ready to go by 6:30 a.m.
Wow.
And it's structure. Without that, and if you lack structure and discipline, I mean, this ain't the right industry for you.
Right. No, I agree. I think that if you have that, it's very important, consistency, right? So you got to be consistent. And I think that, like everything, it's like real estate, it's always like a roller coaster. It goes up and it comes down, right? But if you survive on the downhill of it, I think you'll be fine. But it's kind of your work ethic, like you said.
Absolutely.
Like if you're always constantly working, even though it's like it's not giving you like what you want, but that work ethic, it's soon's gonna get paid off, right?
I'll double down on that because, yes, right now it's transitioned to like a buyer's market. But as far as the lender, the title officer, the escrow officer, the appraiser, whoever is involved in the transaction, it doesn't matter if it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. It's a skilled market.
It's a skill market.
Yeah, you gotta know your products. You gotta be up to date with it. If you let that ship sail, I mean, you're gonna get left behind.
Right.
So you have to be up to speed.
And I think that also, along comes with people wanting to work with you, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, a lot of the times that you get, it's like, why do I want to work with you, Manny? Like, tell me why I should choose you versus all these other lenders that are giving me the same kind of product, right? A lot of times they ask me the same thing. Why should I work with you as an escrow company? For me, it's always been, okay, everybody can give you service, right? But a lot of the time it's your persona, it's you caring enough that people want to actually do business with you.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with you, right? So it's not just because you have every product that everybody else has. It's the work that you put in, and because people like working with you and your team.
Yeah. Well, first things first, you got to have at least good pricing.
Right.
If you have high rates, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you could still close, but it's going to be a lot harder, especially in this market. But you got to have products, you have to have good rates, and you have to have good customer service. But you have to go above and beyond the call of duty. So, like, my clients will call me, like, at 9. I'm lifting, I'm on the treadmill, but I can still take the call.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to, I might be breathing a little heavy, but I can still take that call and assure them that everything's correct. Like, yesterday, a client called me about vesting, and I did let them know, like, hey, that's kind of that's out of my scope of practice. But, if you don't know what you want to go with, like, these are the choices that I would choose, but take this information to title and ensure that this is something you wanna do. So I don't mind giving advice, but if it's not my scope of practice, like a lot of the time they call me on Real Estate Matters, and I don't know why, but I think it's because they have that trust with me. But I always revert them back. Look, this is what should happen, but I don't know the whole thing. So you should go back to your realtor and let them know your concern. Like,
right, I agree.
Yeah, and then sometimes they'll call me just for like family matters.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I know. That's one thing I always say. It's like we become the therapy. We become the consultant, the therapy, everything, a one-stop shop. You know, I've had those people.
I've had some wild things.
Divorces.
Like
those
hey,
are interesting.
Don't tell my wife about this car on my credit. I'm like, well, it's going to be disclosed, but, as long as they don't ask me, then, this is what you're going to be. I mean, I've had some wild requests, but yeah, no, I feel like I am a therapist at times, but at the end of the day, I don't mind it because I know it's a very stressful situation. I want to make it a smooth transaction for them.
So let me ask you, and all these times that you've been doing real estate or in lending, do you have like a story of a family that you helped that really hit home, or that you really kind of felt like this is why I do it?
Oh yeah, this client, actually two. One of them were losing their home. They had a trustee sell date and everything. And I was able to get them into a non-qualified mortgage just to stop the sale and get them refinanced into a non-QM product. And then what I was able to do is fix their credit in 6 months and then refinance them into a traditional loan because we had to wait so many months for the lates to pass DU. And when they came crying to me and like hugging me, like, I was like trying to fight back tears, and I was just like, man, what the heck? Like, and you know what? I felt good because even till this day, they'll still call me, and it's been like 2 years. Like, they'll still call me and say, thank you, and they refer me business. And the other one was like, this client was in escrow already for 60 days.
60 days?
Yeah, and they never qualified. They never qualified, and what happened was they went through like 6 lenders and none of them would give them the time and day. So I was able to see what was on their credit, and I noticed that we just had to pay off a couple things. I did a what if simulator.
Yeah.
All I needed was I needed 2 weeks for the credit and 2 weeks to close the deal.
Oh, okay.
And when I closed it, like, I mean, they were in tears, like.
Yeah.
And they were homeless too, so like,
wow.
They were crying and they had a baby, and I was just like trying to fight back tears too. I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was my allergies, but yeah, I think those 2 scenarios, and then some other scenarios like they're close to losing the home, but not to that extent. I mean, it just really makes me happy of what I do. I like to help people out,
Yeah.
and that's why like I get that repeat business. Like if you look at my Zillow, my Yelp. I have over 100 5-star reviews, and it's not by accident.
Right.
Because I really, truly care about everybody. I treat everybody like they're my family.
Yeah, which is good. So I know soon, and, before we go, I want you to kind of give us a little bit. Congratulations, you're opening a new office here.
Yeah, in Orange. Yeah.
In Orange.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the office that you're opening. When are you opening? And just... where it's at, location, give us info so people, if you guys have anybody, if you're hiring anybody out there that's looking for, a loan, or, if you're hiring,
Yeah, so I actually wasn't, like, the plan wasn't to, but it was a very specific area since I was little. My dad lives in Floral Park in Santa Ana.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, I'm a roam around, and I always said that the spot is, if I had the opportunity, I would definitely buy it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
At what age did you do that? Or you spotted that thing?
I was like 7 years old.
Oh,
I said,
wow,
this place is close to everything. It's close to the main place mall, Chalk Hospital, and the specific pocket in Orange is by downtown Orange, downtown Santa Ana. And,
it's very centered.
Yeah, one day I was passing by, and they leveled all the medical offices there. And I saw that they were selling to build. And I stopped, and it was like the height of the market. Like I didn't care. Location, it doesn't matter if it's worth $1 or $1 million. I was gonna commit to it. And it's a tri-level, mixed commercial use.
Okay.
So I just jumped on it without even thinking it through. But I knew when you set goals and you see the opportunity, you have to pull the trigger. If not, then it's useless.
Yeah.
So my long-term goal was to always purchase here. So in January, I pulled the trigger, and I've slowly been developing the tri-level, and we should be done with construction next month.
Nice.
So I will personally, that would be my hub.
Okay.
I have an office in Rancho.
Okay.
And then I have a satellite office in Oakland. I know, random, but I do a lot of business up north.
It's because you're a Raider fan? I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, no. Well,
Oakland. I
am a Raider fan. Very disappointed in their season right now, but
I know.
I do a lot
Let's
of
not
business.
even talk about it.
Yeah, I do a lot of business
in Oakland. Okay.
Oakland, Frisco, Stockton,
Okay.
Richmond, that surrounding area, Porterville. I have a lot of agents. I actually flew there on Black Friday last year to go meet everybody.
Oh, nice.
Like the people I've been doing business with. I flew out of Ontario, landed like at 7:45. Had like brunch with them, and I was back home by lunchtime. It was wild. But yeah, I visited everybody, and so those 3 offices I'll be
busy.
I'll be servicing. Okay. Yeah, so we're looking into Texas because I do a lot of Texas business.
Okay,
and,
so where
Arizona.
are you licensed? Is it just
I'm in 32 states.
32 states.
Yeah,
okay.
but it's really heavy California, Washington, Texas, Arizona, and Nevada.
Okay, so there you go. If you guys have any loans out there that he can pre-approve you guys, this is of the states that he's approved. So one last kind of thing before we go. What advice do you give? Obviously, we talked about first-time home buyers, right? Not to be afraid to buy, and there's products out there to help them. What advice you give to any young person that's getting into the lending or being a loan officer now, with everybody kind of being scared, right? So everybody's kind of at the edge, like, it's not the time to go or whatnot, or when is the time, what's not the time. Like, what advice do you give, to people that want to buy and to those who want to join to be a loan officer?
Well, know that people are going to take advantage right off the bat. Know what you want. If you need to be held on the hand, it's going to cost you either splits or higher interest rates. Not all rates are created equal.
Yeah, I agree.
People have high rates because there's 15 people in the middle. From wholesale to direct lending, it just really depends on what you want. So if you want to have all the bells and whistles, it's going to cost a pretty penny. You're going to have high interest rates.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a happy middle where you have average interest rates, that's fine. But if you have to roll your sleeves up and get dirty, put in the grunt work, you're going to have the best rates.
Right.
But that's where you build your team.
Yep.
So understand that people are going to take you in and drain you for everything you have. It happened to me. But you know what? You have to take your lickings and run with it. Learn from your experiences. Yep. So understand it's not going to be, it's not going to be a golden trail. You're going to have to get, had a couple of times before you understand. Now, if you have the discipline and you understand how to structure, I'm always willing to take on loan officers that like it's very structured. So, if you're trying to sleep or wake up with your PJs at like 10 a.m., I'm not your guy.
You're not, yeah.
I'm there to support you, to help you grow, but understand that there's going to be high rates and you're not going to know what the rate is.
Yeah.
Unless you're seeing this video and you come talk to me, you'll be dumbfounded as to how low the rates can be. But just get ready to get taken advantage of, but understand that that's part of the growing process.
Right.
So I'm just gonna be frank about it. It's gonna happen, and if the more help you need, the more you're gonna pay.
The more you're gonna pay.
So learn quick.
So give us your information on Instagram. I noticed that you've been posting a lot of Instagram. So if you guys want to follow Manny, follow him because he posts a lot of stuff about the rates and other information that can help you guys. Maybe you loan officers out there or people who want to buy, who want to sell, know where it's at. You're more of a data guy. So you post a lot of stuff about data and what's going on with the market. So I think that's interesting. So where can they follow you?
It'll be Manny_the Mortgage Man. Awesome. My license plate says the Mortgage Man. I live, breathe, die loans.
The Mortgage Man. Okay. So there you go. You can follow him. So I want to thank you guys for listening. And anything that you guys want to just give us some, questions, anything that we can pass along, we'll be more than happy to answer them. But until next time, thank you.
Do you understand what escrow is?